are live on Facebook. There it is.
Oh, we're live.
Ooh.
Oh, pressure's on.
Feels different when it's live.
I know.
My son
Do something, performers.
Everybody. Are we actually on? I can't see it on Facebook Live. Oh, here we are. There we are. We're live.
Scary.
I don't see the window that I had open that shows all of you guys. Oh no, here it is. I see it now. There's Megan. I like your hair, Megan.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're here at Mu-tini Hour. Here's my martini. We all have drinks.
Okay, I'm out. Bye, guys.
Bye, Shannon.
Good to see your lovely faces. Have a good time.
Left? Who left? Shannon was there the whole time?
No,
she popped in.
She popped in and then she left. Shannon's our managing director, everybody. She popped in and then she's gone. So now it's this
Sounds like you've been drinking for 3 hours.
We only just started drinking. I'm Tung Crystal, the artistic director of Theater Mu. And here I have Leah Nanako Winkler, who is a playwright. And she wrote 2 of the plays that we have done recently, Hot Agent Doctor Husband and 2 Mile Hollow. And Meghan Kreidler, actor, rocker.
I wrote this.
Yeah, she did. She wrote this. And Meghan was also in both those shows. And same with Eric Sharp, who's our third guest. Last but not least is Eric Sharp. And he's also an actor and a writer. And it was also in both those shows.
Hi,
everybody.
Hey.
And they were also in many other shows.
Yes,
I bet.
many other shows.
Bet.
Many other shows.
But thank you for being in mine. Yeah, thank you for being in mine.
Have they been in others of your other of your shows, Leah?
I wish.
Not yet.
But it
Not
can't
yet.
happen.
I wish.
Possibly a Mu.
I want to put them in all my shows. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
me
it's
too.
interesting though because how Corona has affected upcoming seasons and stuff of theater, because I actually don't know when I'll even have a show next, because I wasn't gonna have one for a year. I had a production of 2 Mile Hollow in Utah that was recently canceled, but other than that I didn't really have anything scheduled. And I think at least in New York a lot of theaters are hopefully bringing back shows that had to be canceled next year. So the trickle effect kind of is oh well, then for 2 years, the chances of getting a slot in a season are just a little bit more slim, which is the least of the concerns of the virus, I think. But it is really it'll be really interesting to see how things shake out.
Yeah, we were just talking about that at Theater Mu, because you're right, because things are getting postponed, and then that affects the future season and the season after that. And so it's kind of like this domino effect, like you were talking about. And I do, I mean, the important things are that people, I still think it's art is important, and it also speaks to the livelihood of all those artists who may not be able to work because those shows aren't happening. Yeah, so
yeah,
I think it's an important conversation, and we can talk about more about that today. But the first things first, most importantly, Eric had a question for everybody about his mise en scène in his Zoom feed. So
yeah, thanks everybody for being here. I put some work into my backdrop here, and I just wanted to poll you about this plant versus this plant.
Oh,
wait, is that a real plant or is it fake? Is it fake?
Again, we said we weren't going to talk about it.
Well, my
can I
vote's
see the
for the
rest
big
of
guy.
your,
what do you
can I
think,
see
Leah?
the rest of your what else is on there?
On what?
because you can't really decide like okay, so there's a little plant like uh, it's hard to tell without like seeing your whole deal. But I guess the big guy as well.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Eric came
Like
on.
yeah.
Eric came on for pre-show, and he's like, "Oh, so I chose this plant, and I'm not sure if this is the one." And so Megan and I asked to see the other one, and we both liked the bigger one much better.
Okay. Well, we're
And
going.
then he went against you.
I like it.
Well, no,
No,
we
we just
were,
wanted to-
we wanted more feedback from people, what they thought.
Oh,
So if
here-
you all out there have any comments about which plant Eric should use. Oh, Kevin says the comments that people love the big one, but John Schill likes the smaller one. And he's rooting for the underdog.
I was looking out for the, I was looking out for the little guy.
I mean, Eric, if you water the little one on live Facebook right now, then I might consider you keeping it. Oh, well, that's nice.
Oh, that looks weird now. With like
Just
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, just hold it. Do something actory with it. That's nice.
we got
Yeah,
that.
they both get FaceTime. John Schill will be pleased. John Schill is one of our board members, for those of you who don't know. He's watching right now. Thanks, John. So just a shout out to all of you out there. If you have any questions or comments for anybody, please put them in the comment feed. And Kevin Duong, our fearless producer and marketing director at Theater Mu, will get those questions to us and comments. And also, if you haven't had a chance to, if you could sign in, there's also a link in the comment section for people to sign in. I know a lot of you are used to filling out these short surveys that we do at our Mu shows so that our funders and grantors can know who we're serving. And even though we're doing something a little bit different here, it's really important and helpful for us to track who we're serving and our involvement in the community. So if you have time, if you could follow the link in the comments page and take the time to fill that out, we really appreciate it. Whether you're in the Twin Cities or beyond. So thanks so much for that. Great. Oh,
Eric, bad timing.
I'm not paying attention.
I know.
So we commented that the plant looked like it was dying. So now Eric felt the need to water it, which is great. So I wanted to start with asking this, like, how are you all doing? I know, Leah, you had a big day today.
Yes, I got tested for the coronavirus.
Whoa. In Millbrook?
I no, actually in Fishkill, which Ryan, my fiance, told me that is a town that PETA protested due to its name unsuccessfully because it's Fishkill, but it's about a true story. Which respect, you know, like I see both sides of the equation.
Right,
but,
sure.
They lost. I don't know why they didn't go after Catskill, but we went to Fishkill at a minor league baseball stadium called the Duchess Stadium. It was about 30 minutes away, and we couldn't leave our car. They just do all the testing like out of your car, and we didn't really wait online that long at all. It was like maybe 10 minutes or so. And you like pass through security. There's armed cops everywhere. It's very like Black Mirror, and they like you show like your insurance and your ID through the car window, and then once like they approve that you do have an appointment, they hang like a little like COVID test on your rear view mirror, and then you drive to the nurses and they're all masked, and like you have to put on a mask if you have one, or put a tissue over your mouth, and they swab like your nostrils, like each nostril, like so far up inside that it feels like it's like hitting your brain or something, and it hurts like really super bad, but it only lasts for like 10 seconds each nostril, 10 seconds, and then you're done, and then you get test results in like 6 days. I wasn't like getting tested for fun or anything. Like Ryan, my fiance's been like really sick for 5 days. Like he's had a high fever. Yeah. I don't have any symptoms though. So weird.
Yeah, well, I hope Ryan's okay, and I'm glad you got to be tested, so you know at least what's going on.
Yeah,
we'll
I'm glad
see.
they got
I mean, he's
tested.
over like in. Yeah, I mean, there was definitely, to be upfront, like we used Ryan's class privilege to get tested because his father is a veterinarian who had a doctor friend who he used to take care of his horses, and he just called in a favor and was like, can you get these two paperwork to be tested? I think getting paperwork to even get tested is really hard in New York right now. So it was, and like I have really good insurance through the Writers Guild, and I don't really know how people without insurance are coping. I was just like thinking like even like 3 years ago, I would have been totally fucked right now because I would have been like working still as a personal assistant, and I'm sure like my boss would have like locked me in her apartment with her.
Yeah.
Blythe, you mean? Real
No,
life Blythe.
No, she's actually my old boss is actually pretty nice, like really nice. But
was Blythe
let's
based
say.
on one of your bosses? Was Blythe based on one of your bosses?
Kind of. Blythe from 2 Mile Hollow is sort of a combination of one of my old bosses who's actually like very kind to me and not like Blythe at all in terms of like how she's evil, but she did she was like extremely wealthy, and I did work for her for 7 years. And her family, you know, she had like the prototype family, like the archetype was like her. But then I filled in the blanks with like a much darker person. I think that if my old boss saw 2 Mile Hollow, she would actually really like it.
Good. Why don't we tell people what 2 Mile Hollow is about? Because some people may not know. Does anybody want to take that on?
Sure.
Eric
I don't
does.
Yeah. 2 Mile Hollow, which we produced in 2018. Yeah, 2018. It follows follows the Donnelly family, and it is a family of very well-to-do white folks, but the conceit is that they are played by people of color, and in Theater Mu's case, all Asian Americans. And so it's not only this kind of funny, comedy and satire about class difference, but it is also what Leah terms a prime example of the white people by the water genre, which if you start looking at canonical modern American theater, you see this over and over. Well-to-do family goes to the water to basically work out all of their issues. And so the same thing happens in this play to high comic effect.
You were really good in it.
Yes. So Eric played. You played Christopher.
Christopher, yeah.
Yeah, and Meghan played Charlotte. So Christopher is the movie star, the white movie star, and Charlotte is the help, more or less. Charlotte is his assistant. Yeah. And I also led a theater company in San Francisco called Ferocious Lotus, and we also were part of the world premiere of this. My son, I think, wants to show. He just made a logo for Mu-tini Hour.
Oh,
but maybe he'll come back and show it.
I saw it. I can't believe he made that. How old are you, Cole?
Cole, Leah wants to know how old you are.
Cole now.
He's 10.
Are you guys just like, are kids just like super geniuses now at technology? They can just all make websites when they're like 3.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to teach me how to use FaceTime. He's like, no, you got to do this, Mom. You got to do this. I'm like, oh, I know. He's like, no, wait, you're doing it wrong.
That's so
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
Wow.
Anyway, so so we're talking about Two Mile Hollow, and then after that in August we did another play that you wrote called Hot Asian Doctor Husband,
Which was commissioned by Mu.
That's right.
Yeah,
Right.
which was really nice. I got that commission at a time where I think I got it in 2008. So you guys did 2 Mile Hollow in 2018. So it must have been right after that, maybe, or right before. I'm not really sure. Oh, they're coming for your plants, Eric.
Yeah, I muted. I live right downtown, so I'll try to mute when the ambulance comes by.
No, it was like gritty and real, you know. But I got that commission at a time where I physically, like, commitment wise, I couldn't really work my day job, or I had quit my day job because I had gotten my first, like, I was self-producing for a really long time, like 10 years. But I didn't get produced off Broadway until 2016. And I quit my personal assistant job that we were just talking about in 2016. And I was making like enough money from like commissions to like not live in New York, but be able to kind of like make a non-sustainable living. And that commission just really like I guess my obligations for theater were growing to the point where I couldn't really work a full-time day job without giving up really great opportunities. Like, you know, like I was at the Sundance retreat, but I had like $500 to my name. And then Mu gave me the commission. It was like a really great commission. It really helped me out in many, many, many ways, like to me. So I knew I really wanted to do a great job on the play. And I had actually pitched like 4 ideas to Mu, and you guys chose Hot Asian Doctor Husband to do out of the 4. And
nice. So
I don't and yeah, and I really loved working on it. Unfortunately, like I had gotten, well, fortunately and unfortunately, like I started working on TV like a year after that. So I was in a writer's room while you guys were primarily in rehearsals. But Sanjay Kim, who directed the play, I had done a lot of workshops of that play in New York with a completely different cast with her, with generous support from the Jerome Foundation. So I really trusted her vision and knew that she could do like an amazing job. So I literally just showed up, and because I had worked with you guys before too, like I knew how talented Meghan and Eric were, and I just Meghan and Eric, though nobody else in the cast are talented. but like I knew.
She doesn't mean that, everybody.
No, I knew how talented I'm just kidding. Like I knew how talented like the whole cast was, because like a year before I had come up and done come to Minneapolis and done another workshop. So I was able to just join rehearsals remotely, and then I showed up to previews and the opening, and I was just so happy with the world premiere. I thought it was so good. I wish I could see it again.
Thanks. Well, thanks for sharing that with us. And that was actually the show that I came into Mu on, because I only got here in August, August 22nd to be precise. And my first day of work was the fundraiser that Mu had, and it was at Hot Asian Doctor Husband. If you could tell us, Leah or Megan or Eric, whoever feels most comfortable, like about that play, because I think not a lot of people outside of the Twin Cities know what the plot or the description of the play is.
Go, Megan.
And Kevin will show some pictures also.
Okay, I'll take my stab at it. I should know because I did it right. So Hot Asian Doctor Husband, it featured a hot Asian doctor husband, but it was really about a girl who was dealing with the loss of her mother, and her mother was really her only connection to her Japanese identity. Her other half was her white father, but he was out of the picture like very, very early on in her life. So it was really about a half Japanese girl dealing with the death of her mother, and the play began with her breaking up with her white boyfriend, and the whole idea behind it was like, I can't whitewash myself. I need to actually think about preserving the Asian part of my identity. And thus began this journey of her dealing with grief and cutting out the white boyfriend in her life to try to figure out how to maintain the Asian part of herself. And she goes off to pursue a hot Asian doctor husband.
And
so the conceit of it was really funny.
Dick.
And he ends up being such an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's like an anti-romance. It's definitely a comedy because aside from like perception, like, you know, like aside from like the grief part, like it's a comedy about expectations that we place on other people and projections and the rules we set for ourselves when we're trying to find love, which is something that I don't know, like if you guys have gone through, but I have in like multiple ways since I was like started dating, I think.
Yeah. I think that's what's so fun about this piece, because Eric got to play like Emmy, the character's imagination of who this person was, and only until the moment in the play that you actually meet him in real life and realize that he's not that cool, like you just get this such a different view of him, because that's her expectation and hope about who this person can be for her.
And I knew that Eric was going, like, I wanted Eric to play hot Asian doctor husband, like, since I started writing it. So it was really, really like while I was drafting and like while I was like writing things, like it was like so fun to like imagine you saying some of the lines. So I was
Thank you.
or just like writing to cater to like your physicality and sense of humor, and it was really awesome.
Yeah, but do you remember when you came in town for the first reading?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's when I knew. That's when I knew that you had to play it, because you were like even good when you were breaking every 5 seconds.
Yeah, for everybody that was not, I've told Leah this several times, but for everybody that was not there, this was, you know, during our first Jerome, like the first public reading of the play. And, you know, we had been working on it for a week, and I took the entire week to train myself not to laugh, and then laughed all the way through the entire public reading.
But I knew that that's how you like. I knew that that's how I knew that you got the sense of humor, because I think like those monologues aren't really. It acquires a certain type of person to read it and be like, that is hilarious. And like some people, a lot of actors I think would read that material and like think that it's like really sad or like very dramatic, which it is, but I don't know, you were laughing at like some lines that I thought were hilarious, but I was like, no one else is gonna think this is funny. But you did.
Like Tina Marie. Is that the name of the
Tina Marie.
patient?
Yeah. You couldn't say Tina Marie at all.
Yeah. Oh man.
I would like to say that was you know, limited to Hot Asian Doctor Husband, but I think in 2 Mile Hollow, we probably laughed harder than we've ever laughed in rehearsals for that show.
Oh my gosh. It was hard. Well, for you, Eric, though, it was you had the hardest time not breaking in 2 Mile Hollow.
Yeah.
And then you finally did when Sunmi blew in the like prop thing, I don't even know what it was. Anyway,
it was like the little bowl, like she just like so
she
the stage
improvised
direction
in a moment.
The stage direction for that moment literally is Blythe exits ethereally, and you guys took that and turned it into like a 5-minute sequence. But that's what I really love about Mu. That's what I love about like this particular group of actors. Like, it's so fucking funny. I was recently actually watching footage from that show because I got nominated for an award that I didn't get, and they required like us to do all like compile all this footage and that like represented like your work. And I thought Mu's production and Ferocious Lotus, Lily, but like Mu's production was like what I exactly like exceeded my expectations in terms of like what I wanted the show to be or what I thought the show could be. So I decided to submit that. And the bowl blowing I think was in there, and she just she like crab walks to the bowl. Just like
this is Sunmi.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Sunmi did that. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I have cancer.
New York still won't do that play.
So
I told Lily that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So there's this amazing play that's been like taking the nation by storm around the country. We did it, Minneapolis, Theater Mu. I mean, we did it at Ferocious Lotus when I was there. Theater Mu did it. They did it in Chicago, LA. They've been doing it, and they did it in Texas, right, Leah?
Yeah.
And so what's the deal? Why New York? Why aren't you doing this play? Like this play is gold. So what is that? What's that about?
Thank you. I don't know. You tell me.
Are you worried that white people will get offended, or what's that? What's that about?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Everyone passed on it though. I keep trying. Maybe I'll self-produce it. I don't know. But I don't want to because self-producing really it's so hard. And I'll probably die. Yeah. I did it for like all of my 20s, and like the thought of it is just like, oh my God. Like it costs so much money and it's so hard, and like just like thinking about it gives me like the chills in a bad way. But
no,
I don't like
self-producing
my
is hard.
choices right now. Yeah, like my choices right now is to self-produce it in New York or just to publish it. So I don't really know. I keep telling my agents to like push it again. And they're trying to get a London production first. So maybe you could create buzz in London, and then like sometimes that goes like that carries over into New York buzz. But I honestly don't know. I don't know why. Maybe people just hate me in New York. I don't know.
I can't see how anyone would hate you, Leah.
I know.
Yeah, Leah's the most generous, nice playwright. So you all should do her work in New York. All the New York people watching out there, you should do 2 Mile Hollow at least.
Yeah, do 2 Mile Hollow. I'll pay you.
No, you shouldn't pay anyone. They should be paying you.
And Leah, you're working on a lot of other stuff right now. You were writing for New Amsterdam, the TV show. You were writing for a couple other TV shows before.
Yeah.
And your play is now free on Audible, your Audible play.
It is.
Can you tell us about that?
My play. So I just finished writing for season 2 of New Amsterdam. And then but during that I actually and then before that I worked on season 1 of Rami, which you should watch if you during this I don't know, quarantine. It's a really good show. I wrote episode 2. But the whole thing is like interesting. And during New Amsterdam, I premiered Hot Asian Doctor Husband, but I also released a audio play on Audible called Nevada Tan, which is about a 11-year-old real life murderer in Japan named Nevada Tan, and she was dubbed that. So like she basically became a meme before memes became memes. This murder was like in 2004, and she this is it's the first thing that I wrote that isn't a straight up comedy, aside from God Said This, I think, but it's about a guy in Indiana who becomes obsessed with this 11-year-old murderer who went to her best friend during lunch hour, tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Come with me to the music room," and sat her in a chair and slit her throat with a box cutter. And I remember seeing this.
Oh my God.
And I remember seeing this case when I was visiting my grandma in Japan, because it happened in a neighboring town called Sasebo. And it was a really, really big deal because it made the entire country just really question its relationship with youth violence and the media. And at the time, like, I just really thought Japan was this peaceful place because I moved to the States when mid-childhood, and it was just such a chaotic environment because I was in Kentucky and there were like guns everywhere, and like kids were like crazy. And I would go back to Japan and everyone was polite and very disciplined, and we would talk things out in homeroom and be like, it really bothered me when Satomi told me that she didn't like my hair, like during homeroom, and the teacher would like help us out. So it just completely, it just like completely shattered my view of Japan. And I wrote about finding the identity of the murderer through the lens of this guy named Nick, who is just a regular guy living in Indiana who is bullied in his own way at his American school. So the story is basically about how those two things connect, and you can listen to it for free on Audible.
So it's free, yeah, you all, it's free on Audible until, when was that?
Until the end, until May 27th, I believe.
So you have some time that while you're sheltering at home or quarantined to listen to Leah's Audible play. And Kevin is going to put that on our comments feed so you can see, put the link there so you can find it.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, I can't wait to listen to it.
And then it's also being adapted into a movie for Amazon Studios. I don't know if it'll actually get made, but I'm working on the screenplay right now.
Awesome.
Cool. And you're working on another screenplay too, right? Like an animation film?
Yeah, I'm working on an animation film with the same company that made Abominable. I can't say that word. Abominable.
Abominables?
Abominable. My son like gasped. He's like, oh my God. Loves Abominable.
Oh, I don't. Yeah. And I like the movie too. It's great. So I'm working on those two things right now, aside in addition to a couple of new plays. So I'm okay work-wise. I mean, I feel really lucky. I know that it's a really hard time for people. Like, I don't know if these things will dissolve or not. Like, I'm just like counting that they won't. But I know that theater is really suffering right now, and I just really feel bad for everyone.
Yeah, for those who don't know, and Eric and Megan can talk about that as well. That's why we're drinking. So theater's in crisis right now. For those of you who don't know, a lot of theaters have because we can no longer gather, and that's what theater is. And a lot of shows have been canceled, and theaters are not sure about their futures. So there was just news today that Cal Shakes canceled its season, and also OSF is canceling the rest of its season. So the big houses across the country and houses here have been canceling, and yeah, it's so whatever you can do as supporters and audience members to support houses that are in crisis, please do. And Theater Mu we're weathering along and we're not in crisis, I would say. But if you like the programming we're doing now and want to help us continue to pay artists through work like this, then feel free to click on the donate page and make a donation to the work that we do. It's really, really helpful. So I think thanks Leah for giving us a sort of summary of all you're doing. And we love that you're doing so much and that your work is out there, because that you're one of our favorites and we love your work. And
you're my favorite. I feel like I talk like way too much though. I want to hear from Eric and Meghan. And
thank you.
Yeah.
And Cole, who's like the uninvited guest, right? But it's great to have him. So I wanted to talk about that. Like, let's talk about where we are. I mean, I think Eric, Meghan, and I are in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Leah, you're in what's the city again you're in?
I've gone upstate to Millbrook, New York, which was the town and hot Asian doctor husband.
Oh, really?
That I roasted, but
I didn't realize
where they have an actual restaurant called China Tokyo. But
oh my god.
I'm up here. I have escaped the city.
Right. So you're in Millbrook, and then the rest of us are in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And how is everyone doing? Like, what are you doing? Are you staying sane? What are you doing to stay sane?
I'm reading a lot, doing a puzzle, watching Tiger King on Netflix, which I think a lot of people know about now, but if you don't, I don't know. I would recommend it, but also it's kind of depressing and horrifying. So proceed with caution.
Sounds great.
I have not yet watched Tiger King. Tell us about Tiger King.
Well, it follows one person in particular, but then it kind of branches off into a bunch of different people in the United States who own and breed big cats like tigers and lions, or they even breed tigers and lions to make ligers, which I think is illegal. But yeah, it's just a lot of illegal, suspicious, insane, ego-driven activity happening mostly in the South. Not to perpetuate stereotypes about people who live in the deep South, but it's very Southern in a lot of ways.
No,
I don't know.
I watched
It's
some
insane.
Of it. Megan, I watched some of it, and like I saw the people, and I was like, these are my relatives on my dad's side. I think you're stereotyping from pattern and truth. But go ahead.
Yeah. But it's just, I mean, it's ridiculous.
So it's on Netflix. Somebody asked what
very
channel it's on. It's on Netflix.
Yes.
It's on Netflix.
Oh no, what did Mooks say?
I don't know.
Well, Mooks made a comment, and I couldn't even read the whole thing, but trust me. So my band is called Kiss the Tiger, and I started watching that show, and I was like, oh God, this could be misconstrued, or like, is this going to be bad, or is this going to be good for the band name? I'm not actually that worried about it, but I'm just like, oh wow.
So Megan and I talked a little bit about the Netflix shows we were watching, and because she said it was one of her guilty pleasures was Tiger King, and my guilty pleasure, believe it or not, is Love is Blind. I don't know if anyone here has watched Love is Blind, but it's horrible. It's like so cheesy, horrible. But it's so good. It's not horrible.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So you watch it as well, Leah?
I'm on episode 8, so I just started. I had a really hard time at first because I just listened to Jessica Simpson's audiobook, and I have a lot of mixed feelings about Nick Lachey. That narrative has been reinvented for me, Team Jessica all the way. But but it's really good. Yeah.
Because he's the host, right? It's his show.
I think he
Of Love
produced
is Blind?
it. He only he's only shown up like he's only shown up like a couple times, Vanessa. But like I'm only like on episode 8, so I've seen like a few couples. I don't want to give any spoilers, so I'm avoiding names, but I've seen a few couples like meet in person and start their lives, perhaps, or not. But it's very addictive and very good. But I also watch a lot of reality TV, so I have to pace myself with that one.
Yeah. So if you don't know, Love is Blind is people date. There's like a group of women, a group of men. It's all heterosexual people, and they date in pods. They don't see each other. They date through, like, there's a wall between them. They don't see each other, and then at the end of their first week, they get engaged, sight unseen. And then once they're engaged, they go on a trip together to Mexico, and then they live together for a month, and then they can have their wedding. So it's people getting together without seeing each other. So that's the premise. That's why it's called Love is Blind. Anyway, it's horrible and it's wonderful. So I highly recommend it for your binges during this time. There were a couple comments. May Esperanza Los Losos said they need some dramatic ass Asians on there, which they do. There's African American contestants. There's white contestants. There's some Latinx contestants, but I don't think there are any Asians on there so far. And Saimukta says to Meghan, "Kiss the Tiger needs a song about the Tiger King."
I mean, yeah, we could write something political about animal rights. I don't know though. I also am like, I don't want to give the Tiger King or any of those people any more attention than they're already getting.
Right. And there was another question. I
Write a
totally
song.
get it. What was that, Leah?
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just joking, and I feel like jokes don't land on this platform because it's all delayed. So the moment's gone. I'm sorry.
Oh gosh, I get you. The beauty of Zoom TV or Facebook Live. So there was another question about for Eric, and I actually had the same question, and it goes back to Hot Asian Doctor Husband. And John Schill's question is, who came up with the Hot Asian Doctor Husband dance? And when I was watching it, I had that same question. Like, did Sanjay create it? Did you create it? Did you have a choreographer? Because again, I came in when the show was already up. So I wasn't part of the development process of it or the rehearsal process.
No,
But it's so magical.
Thank you, but that is not my work. That is the work of Magnolia Yang Salgia. She dances with Ananya here in town, as well as doing her own choreography around town. And I I doubt that she's listening, but I really like telling this story, which is, Sanjay, the director, myself, and Magnolia were in the room, and we were talking about, what this dance was going to be. It was the first time Magnolia could be there. And, she kind of looks at me, kind of like sizes me up, and she's like, "Okay, Eric, take off your shoes. And now, get up, stand up, and we're just going to see what your body does." And I can say this because we had a wonderful time working together. But at that point, I was like, no. I need you, please, to choreograph this piece. I need your help so badly. Like to her great credit, she was like trying to leave the kind of door open for my dance creativity, of which there is none, and she's like, it's just like house music, just get into it. And I was like, I am phobic of nightclubs, I was like really, really, really nervous about the dance. And, we had like 4 rehearsals to get it done or something like that. And so all praise be to Magnolia, because she was so patient, and we came up with something that I think, Leah, you can talk to it, but I think the spirit of the stage directions in were really kind of lived out in Magnolia's choreography that she came up with. So she was amazing, and I did my best.
No,
it
I
was
thought you
amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I will say that the only stage, because I'm not going to take credit for any of this, the only stage direction was something like, I don't have it memorized, but it was something like Hot Asian Doctor Husband dances. It is cathartic, and it only goes on for an appropriate amount of time that isn't boring. It is cathartic. He is catharting everywhere he exits. That's it. And then that's like what they did with it. And then and Sanjay asked me about it, because I had like a music cue in there, which was Demi Lovato's Skyscraper, but like I'm not like, I don't know what's hip. I don't go to clubs, you know? So like I was just like, you know, like just use whatever. And Sanjay is like really cool and young. So like I was just like, just change it to whatever song like you think. And then she sent over Carly Rae Jepsen. And I was like, I don't know about this. Like, I like totally was a hypocrite about it. I was like, I don't know about this. It doesn't have like the same beat. And then she showed me like a video of like the choreography, and I was like, oh, okay, this is okay.
Well, so there's a request.
I think
I'm sorry.
you were fantastic, and Eric, and yeah. What?
But Leah, you know, you remember the Skype
frozen?
session?
Am I frozen?
Oh no, you're there. You Skyped into rehearsal, and don't you remember we were like, I asked you, I was like, Leah, why does Hot Asian Doctor dance? Do you remember what you said?
No, wait, what did I just say? Because he wants to?
Yeah, you're like, because he likes
Because he likes what?
I was like, why does Hot Asian Doctor dance? Like I was asking in this kind of like dramaturgic way, and Leah's just like, because he likes dancing. Which was her really nice way of saying, like, just do it, man. And I feel like we
but that's also the character. Like he does whatever he wants all the time.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So there's a request, Eric, and maybe Leah and Megan can help you, because I think they also did this, but there's a request that you do the dance right now.
Wow. You can't?
It's not gonna happen.
Download the
I can't help you.
You gotta just, if you turn the music on, it will come back to you. It lives inside of you.
Why don't you just do the essence with your eyes?
Well, okay, well, I'll just do
the top half. Just do your.
I can just start it where, you know, the music just started. You know, the music just started to play, and Hot Asian Doctor Husband just like walks in his lab coat, and it's like dun, 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 dun.
I like how you said the music started the play.
That's what I said.
That's such a Hot Asian. That's what you just said. Okay. Even though it was like in the middle of the play. In Hot Asian Doctor Husband's mind, the dance does begin the play. I think.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really when the play kicks in. Oh my gosh, people will donate if you dance, Eric.
People will donate if you dance. Okay, you all, everyone out there, if you promise to donate, if Eric does the dance,
there is a video of us all doing the dance on the last day of our show. I don't know.
Why not can Megan and Eric both do it together?
I can't do it because I'm gonna knock over the plants.
Wait, I feel like this is unfair. If they're gonna dance, then the donations should go directly to Eric's Venmo account.
I mean,
we can talk about that. What's your Venmo account, Eric? Oh my God.
Well, I will say that the entire cast would watch Eric every night do the dance off stage. And I'm pretty sure like whatever percentage of the house was sitting like on the far right, house right side could probably see all of us watching, but we were just like, whatever, this is too good. It felt like a communal experience because the audience would enjoy it and we'd just be backstage like, yeah, eating it up. It was so good.
Well, it was
What
so
kind
funny.
of things do actors do backstage? This is just like a general question for all three of you, since Lily, you're also an actor too. Like what's the weirdest thing you've ever done backstage?
Well, honestly, I feel like I can't share it because it's like inappropriate. But not like, I mean, just, yeah. I mean, during Hot Asian Doctor Husband in particular, I had like a feminine issue that I had to take care of in between like two scenes that I didn't have a lot of time during, but it was like I had to be on stage in my underwear, so I like had to take care of it. So okay, not very subtle there, but sorry, it's like PG-13. But I mean, yeah, sometimes you have to deal with that stuff off stage, and I don't know.
I mean, for this play, I was just running around. So like before the dance, I was just making sure that my shirt wouldn't come untucked, and I, ran through the entire dance in the mixed blood lobby right before every time. So like, the concessions people and the box office folks are just kind of like looking.
well, that's the thing about performing at Mixed Blood too. Yeah,
it can be any
Go
show,
ahead.
and any show,
Yeah.
Eric.
I have one weird thing that I did, and I don't know if Meredith Casey and Brian Kim are watching, but they can attest to this. So the last show I did, which closed early, was Interstate at Mixed Blood Theater. I played the mom. It's Kit Yen and Melissa Lee's musical about queer Asian characters, and I do this warm up where it's like clearing all your, it's this like tantrum. It's like this tantrum exercise, and I usually do it in private and like lying down and like having a tantrum on my own to clear energy. And my son is like, what? So, but I didn't have time to do it on my own, like privately. So I was waiting backstage to go on when it was a different character that I just played. So I was trying to clear energy from that. So I randomly, I just went like backstage, and both Brian and Meredith Casey were like, what the heck just happened? And they couldn't stop talking about like the rest of the run. They were just like, oh, we were back there, and all of a sudden Lily just goes. That's what I do backstage.
I mean, the things that we do are so weird. Like, actors can accept other actors' little rituals, but I feel like if any normal person were to witness just like those kinds of things, they'd just be like, what in the world? What is this world? We do what we can to go out on stage and be ready to give it. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we're crazy people. Actors are crazy people.
Yeah.
So
no, you guys make yourself so vulnerable. It's so great.
Oh, thank you, Leah. You too, as a playwright, and that's why we love your work. So there's a couple comments. I just want to throw them out there. So people have said they want Eric and Meghan's Venmo accounts. So do you want to post them? And our development director was like, I'm fine if they post them. So if you want to post your Venmo account, you can. Kevin can do that for you. and especially if you want to dance. Wes Morey says, I adore you so much, Meghan. And
thanks, Wes.
And Samukta says, Akeem said your solo dance was the best part of 2019 for him. And Roger Tang says there must be sacrifices for art, meaning that you should dance. But anyway, I'm just going to leave it there. You don't have to dance. The next question was for me, and what has been the best and worst part of moving to Minnesota? That's been from Eileen Wu. And this actually can, I think, bring into our closing section of this of our talk. I've loved moving to Minneapolis. I mean, in St. Paul, I think. In Minnesota, people in Minnesota are so welcoming, and that's probably been the best part of it. I love the Mu community. People are really loyal to this company, and kudos to Rick Shiomi, who founded the company, and to all the artists who have supported it. I think people at Mu really love Mu, and that's been really wonderful to lead an organization that is so that people love so dearly. So I think doing the work and being able to do theater full time and doing the work here is the best part of moving here. The worst part of moving, I mean, yeah, we miss our friends and our family. I think that's the hardest part about moving. It's my son. And we also love that it's much easier to live here. We came from San Francisco, and it's really hard to live in San Francisco. So it's just a much easier life for artists to do art and make a living here, which is really nice. So I guess those are my oh, and Kevin reminded me. So one of the worst things is I came into work one day and I had all this salt on my boots, and I'm like, what do you do with the salt on your nice leather boots? Like, how do you get rid of it? And there are people in the office were like, oh, you just live with it. Like, you just throw away your boots after each season. I'm like, what do you mean you throw away your boots after each season? Like in California, you can hold on to your boots for like 10 years. And so Kevin reminded me that salt on my boots from the snow is like the worst part of moving here. Like my boots are just like destroyed after a season, after winter. So maybe that's the worst. But I have a game that we're going to play to close out our session, and it's the Proust questionnaire. For those who don't know, Proust, the writer, had a questionnaire where he would ask. It was a parlor game that people played during his time, and he thought that it was a really good way to get to know people. So we have the Proust questions in this jar, and I'll pick them randomly, and we will ask Proust questions of our guests, and we'll add during lockdown at the end of the question. So here's our first question, everybody. That one's not good. Oh, what is that? What is it that you most dislike during coronavirus?
Oh, I mean, not being able to gather in, yeah, not being able to see people really. I feel like I'm taking the self-isolate or the social distancing thing pretty seriously. And I know it kind of varies from person to person, but like I've really only seen my boyfriend, who I live with, for the past month because we were also on vacation before going. And I love him, and we've been doing lots of FaceTime stuff with friends, but it is hard not to have human contact with other people. So yeah, that's my.
Yeah.
I feel like very scared for the unknown, just because like I don't like not knowing things in my personal life. Hi Cole. Just because I'm in a profession that is relatively unknown. Like that's like the whole MO of being in the writing game, is like you don't know when your next gig is, you don't know if you're going to be like financially stable for the year, you don't know like what's going to happen in the next year. So I don't like the unknown of the virus, and I don't like not knowing when things will be back to normal.
Yeah, I really echo that. For me, of course, I miss people. I'm an extroverted person. I miss hugs. But it's really similar to what you're saying, Leah. It's just you don't have symptoms, you might have it. You have symptoms, you might have it. You're rich or poor. It does not matter how you're feeling. You could have it or you could be spreading it. And when you have that level of uncertainty, it makes people wig out. And so that's the part that I really don't like, is that factor in people that say, because I don't know, I'm going to blame, or because I don't know, I'm going to, find a scapegoat for this thing. And like, that's the thing that drives me nuts. In this time when we need to be unified more than ever, it's so hard to see even people that I know just kind of like factioning off into like, this is the right information when we just don't know, So yeah, the more we can just kind of, I don't know, for me, like embracing the unknown is like not the way that I want to talk about it, but it is like just knowing what we can control and what we can't control, and the information we can and can't have, and anything beyond that needs to just be love, and caring for each other, anything other than that is just not useful right now.
Yeah, yeah. Cuomo had mentioned that, the governor of New York, in terms of love, and that's all we have right now to get us through. So,
Daddy.
so another, the last question I have for you from the Proust questionnaire is, what is your greatest extravagance through this lockdown?
I'll start. I didn't go out and buy toilet paper, or paper towels, or wipes, or anything. This is like a week and a half ago, and I went and I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, and I came home with like a box of 20 Heath bars, and so now I just eat Heath bars.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds amazing. How many do you have a day, Eric?
Well, I mean, I try to limit it to like 2 a day.
My son wants to live like you. You're now his hero.
Okay, the only extravagance that I can think of is like, I usually don't ever cook meat at home. But I've just been like cooking a lot of meat. And I don't know if that's an extravagance, but there is something kind of satisfying about like cutting up meat and cooking it up and then eating it right after you cook it. Oh, that's so sad. But that's my extravagance. So there you have it.
No, I get
my
it.
extravagance is I usually wake up at 6 or 7 to write, and I just get up whenever I want to now.
Wow, you get up at 6 or 7 to write. That's really committed.
Mhm.
Well, you know, like I love it, but now I have like time all day, so it's just like I can get up at noon and just work till 3 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing that as well, getting up late.
Yeah,
Working
it's just
late.
like
Yeah.
time is not a thing anymore.
Hmm.
So Greg Watanabe says, I didn't used to buy wine in 6-packs. I guess that's his extravagance.
I love it.
Hi, Greg. Greg, I'm a big
Hi,
fan.
Great. So we should probably wrap up. It's after 8. And I know we got started a little bit late, but we've been on for an hour and I don't want to take too much of your time. Oh, Cole just wants to show his...
Wait, can I also
Okay, hold on one
show
second.
something after Cole? Okay.
Oh, you go ahead, Leah.
No, Cole can go first.
Okay, Cole, show your Mu-tini hour, and then Leah can share one
Cole,
thing.
go first.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. Wow.
So
Wow, that's so cute.
Oh, wow. That's really good. Like, okay,
Awesome.
your generation
know.
is gonna like save the world. Yeah.
What does it
By
say
your
down there?
logos.
It says copyright.
I don't know what it will do for global warming, but
Copyright. Wow.
Copyrighted by Theater Moose.
That's
So
so
remember that, everybody. This is Theater Moose property.
Good job.
dare.
okay. I'll show you my thing. So I really love you guys. You're on my wall. You're on my bookshelf.
What?
Oh.
That's good. I love that photo.
Anyway, okay, I can't put that up. It's
Oh.
really good. So good. Like, yeah.
Thanks for showing that,
Anyway,
Leah.
please bring me back to the Twin Cities. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we love to. Seriously,
Yeah.
like once this whole thing is over.
I'd love to come back.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back.
Yeah, please bring me back. I love working there so much, and you guys are such good actors and such a wonderful artistic community.
Thanks,
Thank
Leah.
Fun every
Thanks,
time
Leah.
I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah, we love you too. And we once this is all done, we hope to get you back in the Twin Cities when we can all give each other a hug
Yeah.
and do
Yeah.
it.
I'll pay you. No.
Seriously, people are asking for your all Venmos. So if you want to put on the comments feed on Facebook, put your Venmos down there so you can get paid.
Okay. I feel weird, but okay.
Not me, just Eric and Megan. Yeah.
And someone also asked, what is your advice for aspiring writers and actors? And we don't have time to answer that question here, but if you all have time on the comment section to answer, we could do that.
Wait, I can answer it.
Okay, Leah wants to
Yeah, I
answer
mean,
it.
I'm not in a hurry to
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, great.
leave.
Like what are we like? What am I
Ugh.
doing? Like I'm sad this is like over. Okay, advice for aspiring writers. I would say, first of all, write a play, right? Like I'm imagining that this is for playwriting. If it's for TV writing, write a pilot. Don't write a spec, but write a pilot, write a play. First of all, or second of all, if you've already done that, apply to everything. It doesn't matter if you think you're completely unqualified for that thing. Just apply to it. Go on. There's one in Minneapolis, the Playwright Center. They have every single opportunity ever listed on that. There's NIFA, there's women's arts, there's all these listservs for you just for aspiring writers and working. I apply to things all the time. Do whatever you can to get your work out there, because even if you don't get it, there's a panel of arts administrators who will be reading and evaluating your work. And that is how I first got recognized by anybody, was that I applied for the Page 73 fellowship, which I'm now on the board of. It was in 2011 or something, where I didn't I wasn't a finalist for their fellowship or anything, and I never got it, but I applied for that fellowship, and a prominent director read my work from that fellowship and emailed me and was like, let's get coffee. So just don't be afraid of putting your work out there. And if you write a play, you are a playwright. So don't ever doubt yourself.
Thanks, Leah. And for those of you who don't know, so Playwright Center is offering a whole slew of online classes and readings while we're in lockdown. So they're doing some wonderful things. They have something going on every week. And so if you are an aspiring playwright, like Leah said, there are many resources at Playwright Center that you can look at. And Megan and Eric, do you have any advice for aspiring writers or actors?
Mine is similar for actors, which is your job, especially when you are a young actor coming out of school, or just realizing that this is the path that you want to take in life. Just take every opportunity that you can to act, because we only get better as actors by working on actual productions. And taking classes and studying the form. And the thing that I would say that's tough right now, but as soon as this is all over, it's to go see plays, right? So even right now, check out work that's online by different companies. But once we're able to do it, the more that you can experience that idea of what it means to be live in front of an audience, and what your tastes are telling you about what you like about performance, that's going to make you a better actor.
Yeah, and I would just say on top of that, don't hesitate to reach out, especially because social media and the internet makes it so easy to contact people. I like when people reach out to me and have questions about the profession, and if there are people that you admire and that you look up to in the community, locally, wherever you are, that I don't know. At least I can personally say that I like to offer advice and to chat with people about what they're interested in and what they're thinking about. So my door's always open. And I would say other people are most likely open to that as well too.
Absolutely, me too.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, Megan and Eric and Leah, for those pieces of advice. I think that's really true. Don't be shy. If you want to talk to somebody, reach out to that person. And I agree with Eric, taking classes is really important. I think I still take classes, and I've been acting for a while, and it's just a great way to keep honing your craft and doing productions. I also encourage all of you, young actors or older actors, whoever, all actors, if you want to join us on Mu Mondays, we're doing a private table reads of plays every Monday night. And you can go to our website, theatermu.org/virtual, to find out how to sign up for that. And we share roles and people read. Last week we read Leah's play, God Said This, which is a wonderful play. You should all read.
How did that go?
Great, and we love the play.
Good,
and it was wonderful.
Oh,
and then this week we read Tiger Style by Mike Liu, and next week we're hopefully reading Man of God by Anna Munch. So we're reading plays every Monday night. So if you want to join us for that, it's a way for you to meet other artists, read plays with us, so out loud. And people share, 4 people might share a role, but everyone gets a chance to read at least 2 scenes. And at least, every other week or so. And otherwise just listen to the plays and we talk about the plays after. So there's a venue that Mu is offering for people to gather and get experience and get to know each other.
Can I give one piece of, like, it's not even advice, it's just like a plea for actors before we go, or specifically Asian American actors. There is a shortage of Asian American actors on a national platform in terms of A, like New York theater, and like B, like TV and film, like all the shows that I've worked on, where it's always like, even for like projects that I've done in TV and film, like it's always like a list of 10 people, and they're all completely different types, except for the common thread is that like everybody's Asian. And the excuse is always, we don't know who they are. Like, we don't really know them. And writers, there's a lot of Asian American writers writing in TV and film right now. Like I am, Susan Cindy Stanton, Madhuri Shakar, there's even Anna, like Anna Munch, like I can name a lot. Like there's a lot of us who don't have a lot of power, but like who have like a little bit, where we can make recommendations. We can put you guys on those lists. Like we can't really like get you guys cast by ourselves until we're like really high up in the ranks. As playwrights we can, but like just I would say like have a reel, and don't be like shy to like email us and be like, hey, just so you know, like I'm interested in like doing theater in New York. I'm interested in doing TV and film. Like I was casting like a role for a show that I won't say which one, but or people were casting, and I really wanted to put like Asian American actors up for that role, and I just had like a blank, and I just like was going through my emails, and I put in like the first people that like I remembered off of like my emails, but like I'm starting like an archive now, and I know that like a lot of people are like starting like spreadsheets and stuff like that in terms of like people who in terms of Asian actors who are interested in those roles, because casting directors don't really do the job for us aside from the fact that they'll put you on the list because you're Asian. Like they don't really break you up into types.
Yeah.
So that's just like, can you do me a favor and send us your stuff and tell us what you're interested in?
Yeah, thank you so much, Leah, for that great advice. And if you're on the live feed, Greg Watanabe, who is a wonderful actor, has a bunch of advice there on the comments I've looked at. And so check that out, and you can and also Roger Tang just put a piece of advice up. So check that feed out, and you can get some more tips there. So thank you so much for being on this, you all. It was so great to check in with you and to see you again, Leah. I've seen Meghan and Eric more recently, but it was wonderful to see you. And good luck with the COVID test, and I hope your fiance gets better.
Yeah, I mean, like we might both have it, but whatever. Like I guess everyone in New York has it. But I don't know. I'll let you know.
Yeah. Keep us updated, and I hope both of you are healthy And to all our friends in New York also, we know that it's really serious there, so our hearts are with you and we're rooting for you and for the whole city. So we're following you and we're there with you, just so you all know. And everyone out there, like, be safe, be healthy. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks to Eric and Meghan and Leah for being here. And it's really impactful what you're doing just to come on and talk with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. This is like the most fun thing I did all week.
Oh, good, Leah. I'm glad. And I want to say thank you so much for saying that. I want to say on that note, next week, Francis Ju, the actor Francis Ju, is coming on our show, and we'll be also have some of his friends on as well. And so catch us next week, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern for that. And a final call, if you'd like to sign in, you can use that form. Tell us who you are so we know who we're impacting in our work. It really helps us with our donors and our grantors and our funders. And finally, if you'd like to donate to us, there's a donate button, and Eric and Meghan have provided their Venmo account. So please feel free to give to them as well, because it's a hard time for theater artists. We're not gonna lie. It's, we're doing the best we can and doing the work that requires us to be in the room together, and we can't be. So now we're in virtual rooms, and I encourage you to give as much as you can, as much as you feel comfortable with, to the artists that are doing the work. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night and a good weekend. And we'll see you back here next week. And stay safe and healthy. And let us know if you have any questions or you want to be in touch. Please feel free to contact us at Theater Mu.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.